Blue Lock Chapter 327 has released its official chapter, with the match of Nigeria versus Blue Lock finally over. With Blue Lock defeating them 4-0, what will they do in preparation for their match against France? Well, in today's video, I'll be going through the events of the latest chapter and giving you my thoughts and predictions as to how the events of this latest chapter could impact the rest of the story. Now, unlike my leak videos, this video will only contain high-quality images and accurate translations of the official chapter. That way you can enjoy the series in its truest and most complete form. Also, remember, this chapter is a little bit shorter due to Kaneshiro being ill, so we only have 10 pages this week. But without further ado, let's just jump right into the chapter. The chapter begins with Barata looming over a monitor, speaking directly to the members of Blue Lock Side B and Blue Lock Central Hall as it's about to begin. The opening tagline to the chapter says, "On the other side of the U20 World Cup, Barata maneuvers within the shadows, nothing but a sense of deja vu." The chapter is titled Chapter 327, Birdcage, Part 1. Barata begins to speak to the Side B players as the camera directs their attention to the crowd of people within the walls of Blue Lock. "Hello, geniuses. You're the 300 plus 1 strikers I've personally selected. You have one mission: surpass Blue Lock and become the world's best striker." We see that Kira has returned wearing a Red Star FC tracksuit and is in the crowd, listening to what Barata has to say. It's also a little interesting that if you look behind him, you can see Haragi and Aiki from Blue Lock's episode Nagi spinoff, former Blue Lockers who were eliminated. Barata continues, "To that end, we'll be holding a careful selection, and the surviving 2 players will get a chance to represent Japan in the final round of the U20 World Cup." We see Barata loom over the players as he continues his speech. "If you're one of those top 2, you'll receive my full support. I'll back you in everything from commercials to domestic and international transfer negotiations. I swear I'll do everything in my power to make you a star." As Barata screams, the doors to Blue Lock Side B open, and we get the reveal of some familiar faces within the crowd. We see Namioka from episode Nagi, we see Okawa from Team Y, we see Nishioka, the famous Aomori's Messi, and we see Kisuke Wanima from the other half of the Wanima brothers. However, we don't see the one that survived. "Okay, geniuses, if you want everything that soccer has to offer, then come on in. The Blue Lock Project Special Edition Side B starts now." As players rush in, Kira begins to monologue to himself. He's just ripping off Ego. But these contracts are just shiny looking traps. Someone overhears Kira and responds as they spark up a conversation. "Looks like some former Blue Lock dropouts are here." "Roger." "Huh? You too?" "No, I'm new to Blue Lock." We get the reveal of a new character named Hanaru Shindo, a player from the Netherlands League who has joined Kira and seems to be quite friendly with him. "I'm part of the fresh batch that Barata called in for this selection. The name's Hanaru Shindo, and I'm with AAA from the Netherlands League." "Nice to meet you, Ryosuke Japan's Hope Kira." "Yeah, same to you. Are you one too?" "Sure am. It's on these cards they gave us when we got here, right?" Shindo and Kira begin to race through Blue Lock, finding their rooms within the building. "Looks like it's this way." As they race, they continue to speak to each other. "I've gotta say, I can't believe the Ryosuke Kira couldn't hack it in Blue Lock. And now you're taking another crack at it? That's intense. You must really love Blue Lock, huh?" "No, it's utter shit. What's going on here is basically inhuman brainwashing. I took Barata's offer so I could refute those methods." "Gotcha. So you're like an anti-Blue Lock extremist." "Roger. Yeah. I've risked it all to come back here so I can crush Blue Lock and Yoichi Isagi." "Okay. Roger." Shindo and Kira rush towards door 1, and they open it, and are shocked at what they find inside. On the final page of the chapter, Kira and Shindo find an empty room, excluding one player sitting in the middle. Hey, Nagi is there, resting in his Blue Lock Side B training suit. The closing tagline to the chapter says, "The fallen genius joins in too. A new battle begins. No break next week." To be continued in chapter 327.2, titled Birdcage, Part 2. And that was the events of the chapter. And while it was unfortunately a shorter one, I'm glad to see that Side B is finally underway. Before I get into my thoughts though, if you are enjoying this video so far, leave me a like and subscribe down below to see more awesome Blue Lock content just like this. Now, starting from the top, I'm very excited to see some returning Blue Lockers. It seems from this chapter we get 6 returning players in Haragi, Aiki, Nishioka, Kisuke Wanima, Okawa, and Namioka. It makes sense that the former Blue Lockers would be invited and that Nagi wouldn't be the sole exception, but there is something a little bit weird about this. We see no Tokimitsu and no former Japan U20 players. I would have thought that at least Tokimitsu and Neru would have been invited and shown up. Tokimitsu because under Nagi he was the highest ranked player to be eliminated, and Neru because he never got to participate in a single NEL game, which feels kinda criminal by the way, since Kaneshiro made a speedster defender and then did nothing with him. But it is pretty cool to see some returning characters. As for Kira, it just makes sense that he and Nagi would be placed on a team together, especially with them being ranked number 1 in their respective teams. At least Kira was the highest ranked before being eliminated so. As for our newest character, Shindo, it says that he's a player from the AAA Club League, specifically the Netherlands, which is kind of interesting. It feels a little bit weird that Barata would invite a player who's already playing domestically in the Club League. It feels kind of weird that he'd bring someone back for Blue Lock like this. But I don't know, maybe Shindo's just that guy. I do have a feeling that he'll be some incredibly tuned dribbler, maybe like how Bachata was for Isagi. Shindo will be that kind of player for Kira and Nagi. I'm not entirely sure, but I would love to hear your theories. As for the team selection, I'm kind of curious if this is going to be the start of the tag game since the size of the room does look kind of similar. But since Barata wants to oppose Ego and all that he stands for, the game will likely be different than intended. What would be interesting is if like Nagi, Shindo, or Kira happen to be eliminated first and not just some random player, and then Barata were to step in and kind of save them, showing that side B has been rigged from the beginning. Like if Barata had rigged side B, maybe we would see him act out and show that it's kind of fake or at least rigged to some capacity, or he would make up some fake rule to save Nagi or Kira. I think that'd be pretty cool. We likely know that Kira and Nagi will be the last surviving players who would return, so Barata potentially rigging the game to keep them alive could be an interesting detail for the story. It's also possible that we are jumping straight into these second selection style events, but with 300 people, I bet we'll go through the same process as the Blue Lock story, just with Barata's ideology and mentality leveraging the decision makings of the teams, as opposed to Ego doing it. I could likely see a part 2 of this chapter starting with more Blue Lockers flooding into the room and then the tag game commencing, but again, who knows? And with that, those were just my thoughts and predictions regarding Blue Lock chapter 327. Now, unfortunately, this chapter was shorter due to Kaneshiro being ill. However, we will be getting the next part of the chapter in the upcoming week. But aside from that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video and will continue to enjoy it in the future. I just want to leave a final reminder to join my Discord server if you're ever interested in getting any more involved with our amazing community. As for the question of the video, what would you rate Blue Lock chapter 327 on a scale of 1 to 10? Leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section. And like always, thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe to see more awesome Blue Lock content just like this.